In 357 BCE, ancient China was a crucible, not a kingdom. While the nominal Zhou emperor in Luoyang merely presided over fading rituals, states like Wei and Qin violently redefined power itself. New systems were forged in relentless competition, often with little fanfare. Welcome back to the History Atlas. Today, we unravel the often overlooked Battle of Shaoliang, an engagement modest in scale, yet one that revealed the formidable potential of a transformed military machine and profoundly reshaped the geopolitical landscape of ancient China. By the 4th century BCE, the Zhou dynasty, once China's bedrock, had become a revered, empty symbol. Its nominal emperor in Luoyang oversaw rituals. True authority had long devolved to regional lords. This was the Warring States period, where 7 major contenders, Qin, Wei, Qi, Chu, Zhao, Han, and Yan, engaged in a ceaseless quest for dominion. Among these contenders, Wei stood as a preeminent power. Under Marquis Wen and Marquis Wu, Wei had earlier forged a dominant position, securing the strategically vital Hexi region. This control projected its influence across the Central Plains, underscoring Wei's historical strength. In stark contrast, Qin occupied the rugged western frontier, perceived as barbaric and isolated. For generations, Qin contended with disadvantages and dismissive attitudes. Yet, this underestimation concealed a rising ambition. The realm's complex balance of power constantly shifted through intricate political maneuvers and strategic expansions. Qin, though peripheral, stood on the verge of profound internal reordering, poised for a transformative vision to reshape the entire ancient Chinese world. Wei, under Duke Hui, remained a formidable power. Its military strength, built upon generations of successful campaigns, particularly its early dominance under Marquis Wen and Marquis Wu, was considerable. However, this strength, largely rooted in established traditions, appeared less adaptable to shifting geopolitical currents. Wei controlled vital territories, including the strategic Hedong region east of the Yellow River, a frequent point of contention with its western neighbor, Qin. In stark contrast, the peripheral state of Qin, eager to shed its image as a barbaric borderland, embarked on a radical trajectory. Lord Xiao of Qin, acutely aware of his state's relative weakness, eagerly invited the legalist scholar Shang Yang, later known as Shang Yang, to implement sweeping reforms. Shang Yang's vision was uncompromising: to forge Qin into an unstoppable engine of dominance, powered by an entirely new social and administrative contract. His legalist principles emphasized meritocracy over inherited aristocracy, establishing a centralized administration governed by strict, uniformly applied laws. Promotion in Qin was not a matter of birth but of achievement, particularly military contributions. Farmers were incentivized to maximize output, providing the economic base for an expansive state. Critically, Shang Yang engineered a direct and powerful link between military performance and personal advancement. Soldiers received land grants and elevated ranks based on their valor and effectiveness in battle. This revolutionary system transformed Qin's armed forces into a highly motivated, disciplined, and cohesive fighting machine, each individual soldier now possessing a tangible stake in the state's aggressive expansion. With its internal structure reforged and its military galvanized, the state of Qin fixed its gaze eastward. The primary objective was the Hedong region, vital territory held by Wei across the Yellow River. Securing this area would not only fortify Qin's vulnerable eastern flank, but also provide an indispensable springboard for deeper penetration into the heart of the Central Plains, the very core of Warring States' power. Shaoliang, a strategic point along the Yellow River, represented the nexus of this ambition. Its control was tantamount to asserting dominance over critical river crossings and the approaches to Hedong. This was no mere border skirmish. The advance on Shaoliang in 357 BCE represented a calculated act of state policy, a direct consequence of Qin's aggressive new strategic direction under Lord Xiao and Shang Yang. Occurring just 2 years after Shang Yang initiated his sweeping reforms in 359 BCE, this engagement was destined to be the first major proving ground for Qin's radical military transformation. It pitted the untested might of Qin's disciplined, merit-driven forces against the established, formidable defenses of Wei, a state that had long dictated the balance of power. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reveal the true efficacy of Qin's revolution. The Qin forces, operating under the rigorous strategic framework instilled by Shang Yang, commenced their eastward advance towards the Yellow River. This movement was no mere deployment. It represented the physical manifestation of Qin's revitalized ambition. Transporting provisions and equipment across the rugged, often desolate terrain towards the river presented significant logistical challenges. Yet, the disciplined columns moved with unwavering resolve. Their destination was Shaoliang, a critical strategic location, likely fortified by Wei along the riverbanks and on advantageous hills, a testament to Wei's entrenched presence. The internal state of the Qin army diverged sharply from conventional forces. Every soldier understood the precise calculus of Shang Yang's reforms. Valor in the field promised land grants and upward mobility, hesitation or insubordination guaranteed severe penalties. This created an army driven by a singular, unified purpose, a tangible engine of state policy. In stark contrast, Wei's defenders, though protecting their homeland, likely lacked the radical incentives and systematic discipline that now propelled their adversaries. As the Qin army converged, profound anticipation settled over the landscape, a silent testament to the imminent test of two profoundly different military philosophies. At Shaoliang, the two rising powers finally confronted each other. Qin's forces, marching with a unified purpose forged by radical reform, initiated their engagement. Their formations, precise and disciplined, moved across the contested terrain, presenting a stark contrast to older military conventions. This was not a frenzied assault, but a calculated application of force, with coordinated movements seeking to probe and exploit Wei's defensive lines. Some units advanced in focused engagements against Wei's strongholds, while others maneuvered to challenge established positions. Wei's defenders, holding their ground with the tenacity born of defending vital territory, met these initial advances. Their seasoned units repelled the Qin thrusts, demonstrating tactical experience. However, Qin's pressure was continuous. Sustained by rigorous training and a new command structure, Qin's legions maintained cohesion, applying relentless, methodical force. The engagement at Shaoliang unfolded not as a single dramatic event, but as a grinding test of systems, where the efficacy of Qin's transformed military doctrine was challenged against Wei's entrenched resolve. The true turning point at Shaoliang was not a moment of brilliant maneuver or a single decisive blow. Instead, it unfolded as a methodical demonstration of systems in conflict. Qin's command structure, honed by Shang Yang's reforms, ensured singular, unified action across its formations. Their advance was relentless, a sustained application of force driven by an unprecedented system of motivation. Every Qin soldier understood that valor in the field brought tangible rewards, land, rank, social elevation, while hesitation or failure carried severe, codified consequences. This direct link between battlefield performance and personal advancement fostered an almost fanatical resolve, a collective purpose unseen in the region. Wei's defenses, though initially formidable and commanded by experienced officers, began to show the strain. Lacking the same radical incentives, their cohesion, while present, was tested by Qin's unyielding pressure. Gongsun Yang's strategic vision, embedding discipline and incentive into the very fabric of the Qin military, manifested directly in the troops' performance. Wei's leadership, perhaps less adaptable, struggled to counter an opponent that could sustain such organized aggression. Gradually, the continuous, unified push of Qin's forces began its inexorable work. The Wei defenses, facing this unyielding onslaught, began to fragment. Their resilience tested beyond its limits. It was not a sudden breakthrough, but a deliberate, grinding erosion of cohesion. Wei's positional integrity weakened. Units, perhaps less integrated or without the same deep-seated incentives for unwavering resolve, incrementally yielded ground. The outcome at Shaoliang was a testament to the cumulative effect of Qin's superior discipline, motivation, and the systematic application of its new military reforms. It demonstrated the unstoppable momentum of a fundamentally transformed military machine. Qin's sustained pressure culminated in the capture of Shaoliang. This strategic stronghold along the Yellow River immediately extended Qin's influence eastwards, securing a vital bridgehead for future expansion. For Wei, the outcome represented a significant setback. They ceded this vital territory, and a number of their forces were taken into Qin's custody or dispersed. These individuals were often integrated into Qin society, employed in its ambitious public works, or resettled to serve the state, a pragmatic approach characteristic of Qin's legalist governance. The victory provided immense validation for Qin's new administrative and military systems, significantly bolstering its confidence. Conversely, Wei faced a profound loss of prestige, and a growing apprehension spread through its leadership regarding Qin's rapidly evolving power. Shaoliang was not merely a territorial acquisition, it was a potent demonstration of the efficacy and formidable potential of Qin's transformed state. The Battle of Shaoliang was more than a territorial acquisition, it served as the critical proof of concept for Shang Yang's radical reforms. It validated, in stark terms, the practical effectiveness of his new legalist governance and military doctrine, showcasing how a re-engineered state could transform its capabilities. For Wei, once an undisputed hegemon, Shaoliang marked a clear inflection point, a precursor to the loss of vital Hexi territories in subsequent engagements and its gradual erosion from preeminence. Conversely, this early victory profoundly impacted Qin, bolstering its confidence and reputation across the warring states. It emboldened a policy of aggressive expansion, demonstrating that its disciplined, meritocratic military machine was capable of asserting dominance against established powers. The trajectory from this seemingly modest success at Shaoliang pointed directly towards larger Qin victories, culminating ultimately in the establishment of the Qin dynasty, an empire forged upon the very principles tested and proven in this engagement. The legacy of legalist thought, with its emphasis on centralized administration and a highly motivated military, would profoundly influence the course of Chinese statecraft for centuries. The relentless march of history often pivots on such foundational moments, where strategic innovation reshapes destiny, laying the groundwork for monumental transformations. If you found this exploration into the foundations of empire insightful, remember to like this video, subscribe to the History Atlas to relive these heroic pages of history, and tell us in the comments, which lesser-known pivotal moment in history do you want us to unravel next?
If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to subscribe and join us for the next adventure.